Hey, what's going on, crew? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Cyrano, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy A32 after one full year of using it. And this guy has been holding up real well when it comes to everything. And after the 1 year that I've been having it, it's still been holding up really well. So I definitely wanted to talk about some of the top things that I like about this thing overall, and the reason why you need the Samsung Galaxy A32 in 2022. But let's just jump into this video. But I truly appreciate you if you're coming through for the very first time, if you're already a part of the crew. So alright, so guys, I have this Spigen case on here, which is like a matte texture two-tone as well. It does have a textured button on here. I'm going to go ahead and take that off because I usually do have the case on here to protect this device, which is probably why it's held up really well over time, is because of the protection that was on here. Now, as far as the display, after 1 year, I could see the scratches on here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a few on this device when you look at it, but that happens to pretty much every single phone that I use if I don't put a screen protector, is that they just happen to get these little tiny scratches out of the blue. I don't know if you could see that, but it does tend to get a few scratches on the front of there, which is sometimes it can be a little annoying when that happens. But honestly, this device has held up pretty good when it comes to the durability. It does have a plastic side on here, so it's going to be all plastic all the way across it. You get your SIM card, as well as your SD slot as well. So I think that's pretty cool. And you also do get a dewdrop at the top of this. They call it an infinity use drop on this guy. So as far as the button placement, it's going to be pretty cool because you're going to have the power button down below, which is the easiest spot to get it, an in-display fingerprint sensor, which is it's not the ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor, and it's not as quick as the it's not the quickest one that you'll ever use in your entire life or in the entire world, because it does have some delay to it. So I just want to throw that out there. And then on the back of this device, you do get your quad camera setup on the back of this device. But really nice solid design. I think that's the first reason why you need this device, because it also has the headphone jack on the design, and it has a decent charging speed on here. It's not going to be like 68 watts or anything of that nature, but it will have like a, as far as the charging speeds on this thing, it's going to charge fast charging, but it's not going to be like real quick. So it's going to be a 5000 milliamp hour battery, but it will charge up within like an hour and a half, right? And then you get your microphone down below as well as the speaker down below. Now, as far as the audio on this device, it's not going to be dual speakers, but it will give you Dolby audio on this device. And we'll get into the chipset in just a second, so make sure you stay to the end of the video. Definitely like the fact that this device is still at a reasonable price right now, because it's going to be on sale for a budget price point around $200 or more, maybe 210s at some places. But I'll make sure I leave the cheapest link down below. But it will give you, the first thing that I really like about this device is it does give you 400 pixels per inch on this thing, so you will get a really good resolution on the display when you have the phone on full brightness. Alright guys, so like we talked about earlier, this display is going to be really good when it comes to the quality of it. So when you go down, you can see right here, it lets you increase the level, and you can kind of now see that the blacks are pretty decent. I could still see the edges of the phone, so I could still see where it separates, but it will have a decent amount of blacks when it comes to the display. It will look pretty sweet. We also do get a water drop notch, 90 hertz refresh rate on the display, as well as a Infinity U design on here, like I mentioned, like we were talking about before. And so the display just looks really handsome, or it looks really nice when it comes to the overall colors. They look very vibrant, very saturated, especially if you put the phone on vivid colors in the display settings, right? So it's just going to stand out when it comes to the overall display. But obviously the display is still going to be a nice size at 6.4 inches, 20 by 9 aspect ratio, 1080 by 2400 full HD when it comes to the overall size and quality. And you're also getting, that 90 hertz. So when you're browsing social media, it's going to look really nice because you're going to be scrolling through everything, and you're going to be able to see the scrolling speeds just feel really buttery smooth on here. It like kind of bounces up and down, which is, well, pause, but like it definitely has a nice vibe to it when you're, using the display and, getting from point A to point B. And the animations do look pretty sweet on here. They do have a nice zippy speed now after like most of the updates. But another thing is that you might want to check this guy out because it will get Android 4.1 from the One UI real soon. So you'll definitely be able to get this device available when it comes to that, because it's going to have that update as well. They also do have that game launcher on here to minimize bulk on the app tray, so you actually save a lot of space when you have all those games and saved inside of the game launcher. So like I said, the experience is just going to be really, really, really smooth when it comes to this thing. Definitely has a nice vibe when it comes to this thing. So I like the fact that it does have a pretty decent speed when you're getting from point A to point B. So the overall user experience is going to be pretty decent, right? Because it's just going to have a decent scrolling speed and experience. Now, when it comes to the performance on the Samsung Galaxy A32, it will have a gyroscope, hall monitor, magnetic sensor as well. Let me see, graphics. It does go up to ultra on here, which is pretty cool. So that's my favorite setting. Let me see. But it does feel pretty smooth, especially with the 90 hertz refresh rate. So, it definitely feels really smooth. We also do get a G80 Mediatek processing chip on this thing, which is going to be delivering pretty decent speeds. The Helio G80 is actually pretty decent. It's a 12 nanometer processing chip, clocked in at 2.0 gigahertz frequency as well. So it's going to be just holding up enough where you can hang in there. You can get the kill. You can actually compete with this guy. So I just want to mention that, but it's going to be a pretty decent processing chip when it comes to the overall performance. Now, as far as the cameras, we get a 64 megapixel. It's coupled with a wide angle camera lens, a portrait mode camera lens, and a macro camera lens on the back, and you get a 20 megapixel around front. So you're gonna get some really good performance when it comes to this thing for taking pictures. You also get a wide angle, as you can see right here, which is going to be the ultra wide angle 8 megapixel, and the main 64 megapixel, which does have this 10 times zoom mode, which is pretty cool because you can get up to 10 times zoom on there. So I definitely like that feature. And then bringing it back to the regular camera, we get some more features on here: AR Doodle, Panorama Pro, Night, Macro, Slow Motion, Hyperlapse as well. So just a variety of features. And when it comes to the recording, just keep in mind it's 1080 30 and HD 30, but they didn't give us 60 frames per second on the rear camera, so I'm not sure why they didn't give us that at this price point, because I've seen other devices with that at this price point. But it's still pretty cool because this thing does pack a lot of features on here, like sidebar mode. When you go into the additional settings, the battery on here is pretty decent. You also do get a lot of storage. You can see I did use a majority of it, almost half, but still have a lot left. And we also do have some really good updates on this guy. It's actually at the February 1st update right now, so it's due to get another update very soon. We also do get the side key feature, like I mentioned right here, which is going to be pretty cool. You could turn that into a shortcut key, and the sidebar feature as well, which is going to basically be in here for your own convenience, so you can mess around with that as well. But There's just a lot of features on here, and the colors on this device look really good as well. Now the features on here are pretty cool because you could swipe down and get your one-handed operation, which is pretty easy to actually initiate that. But we also have, you know, the edge panels, so you can actually you know, have that on, and you will be able to, let me see, where is the edge panel located? Here it is. So the edge panel is actually located on the side, and you can go to edit and then add your favorite apps and shortcuts there. So that's just another really cool feature about this thing when it comes to the Samsung Galaxy A32. So overall, I think this is a really nice solid device that you could just pick up, and it's easy to use, easy to navigate, very user friendly when it comes to all the features on this thing. You have a really nice friendly interface that you can mess around with, and just keep in mind that the edge panel is there for your own convenience. For some reason, I could only use it on my right hand. I can't get it to open on my left hand. I guess you have to like actually hit the exact edge on this thing. So sometimes I instead of me hitting the edge panel, I do go back. But there you can see I did get it. But you know, really solid experience on here. Overall, when it comes to the user experience, it's not going to be completely lag free, but it does have 4 gigabytes of RAM, 128 for storage, which is still pretty good overall on here. Overall pictures for the camera come out pretty decent. When you're just talking about like looking outside, you will get plenty of, you know, detail when it comes to like, you know, being outside, outdoors. You will get a lot of it's good for taking pictures at night. Basically, it's really solid for that. You definitely can get some really good pictures of the sky, so I definitely think that's cool. And if you zoom in, the picture's still pretty usable. You know, at for the most part, it's pretty much usable when you zoom in. So I definitely like the camera photography on this thing as well. So just a really solid performer overall when it comes to the details and, you know, the features on here. You get the macro sensor as well as the portrait. So let me know down below what you, if you would, you know, if you ever needed a budget device, would you use the Samsung Galaxy A32, which is in the entry mid-range series. But I definitely think it's a pretty solid mid-range phone for the price. I definitely think it has some really good cameras. It has, you know, pretty decent performance, pretty good performance, a really beautiful display, as well as the 5,000 milliamp hour battery, which is going to be nice. And you also do get the headphone jack, as well as some nice quality audio. So you when it comes to the phone calls and everything like that, you will get 4G LTE. So when you want to talk to somebody over the phone, you're definitely going to get a nice speaker coming out of the grill of the phone. It's not going to be dual speakers like I mentioned before, but it will be plenty good. But let me know down below what you guys think down below about the Samsung Galaxy A32 in 2022, and let me know if you would check this guy out, and I'm going to check you guys later. I'll get right back with you later. Peace.